Okay, this is statistics class, starting off with page 2 of our notes. In section 1.2, we're going to be talking about classifying and storing data. Okay, so first of all, we need to understand what data sources are. The two big sources of data are either an entire population or a sample of a population. So what is a population? It's a collection of all data values that ever will occur for some group, whether that's a group of people, you know, dolphins, whales, snails, just whatever group we're studying. It's often difficult or impossible actually to obtain all of this information. If we're trying to study dolphins, we're not going to be able to find every dolphin in the world and study them. Okay, so a sample. What's a sample? It's a subset of the population, and it should represent the population at large. It's easier to, and sometimes it can only, like I was just talking about with dolphins, be obtained. Okay, so sometimes we always can only get a sample. All right, so as our first example, suppose you want to know what the predominant eye color in your country is. You survey a random sample of 1,500 people in your country, asking them about their eye color. So who's the population here? Well, it's all of the people in your country. What's the sample, or who is the sample? It's the 1,500 people surveyed. What data was collected? The eye color of each person in the sample. Okay, now classifying data. So when we classify data, we talk about it being a variable. Sort of like you've heard about in other math classes, you got a variable, but we just name our data different variables. So it gives us the characteristics of the data being collected. Now there's two types of variables that we're going to be working with in this class. There's either categorical variables or there's numerical variables. So a categorical variable describes a quality or a classification. It could be numbers, but arithmetic does not make sense with these numbers. So examples of categorical variables are eye color, zip code. So there's a case where it's numbers, but taken in, say taking an average or adding two zip codes doesn't make any sense. Letter grade, stuff like that. For numerical variables, they describe a quantity or a measurement. So arithmetic makes sense with these guys. For examples, temperature outside, the height of something, the length of something. So in this example, let's talk about classifying all of these following variables as either numerical or categorical. So the height of a building, the hours of sleep each night, a student's GPA, and the number of vegetable varieties planted in a garden. Those are all examples of numerical variables. However, letter grade on a test, types of cars, Dodge, Ford, etc., or vegetable varieties planted in a garden, okay, those are categorical. So when I say vegetable, like peas, green beans, etc.